60, and today we're going to be talking about Virgo season. So we're just entering Virgo season. So what does this mean? What does it mean going into this transition of Virgo season? So with us going through this transition of Virgo season, this is going to be our actions and our viewpoints shifting to mutable air. So we're all going to have to take our actions and the way that we see things and the way that we express ourselves and transfigure it and transfer it to things that deals with earthly qualities, things that deals with reality, things that deals with being productive, things that deals with making sense. So when going through these energies and when going through this space of Virgo, you know, this is going to be mutable earth, being mutable and adaptable and adjustable to our own and other ways of thinking and being practical. So this is going to be us taking our actions and our viewpoints and seeing how we can blend it and align it with other people's actions and viewpoints when it comes down to what we're working on, what we're planning, what we're planting, what we got on task, what we got on the routine, what we got on the pattern. So just taking these qualities and utilizing our sun, our actions and our viewpoints to express these energies, this is going to be us having to, utilize these qualities in the mechanism of going through the ending portion of summer. So we're going through the ending portion of summer. So we're getting prepared for the fall. So this is going to be determining if you've been planting the right seeds, if you've been planting good seeds, and do you have something to sustain yourself getting ready to go into the fall? Do you have something? Do you have a shelter for yourself? Do you have a esoteric shelter over your head? Was you planting the right seeds when the sun was in Aries, when we was going through springtime and letting that seed germinate, letting that seed germinate? So now you have an esoteric shelter over your head, so you will be able to withstand yourself going through the next two portions of this seasonal transition that we're going to be experiencing when it comes to us getting prepared for the fall and the winter. So when it comes to the sun being in Virgo, this is going to be all of our actions and our viewpoints, and it's going to be more directed towards trying to maintain. We're not trying to maintain, but looking into the details. So we're all going to be looking into the details and seeing where we can perfect something, seeing where things need to be tweaked, seeing where things need to be reconfigured, seeing where things need to be redefined or refined when it comes to the things that we are working on, when it comes to things that deals with our responsibilities, things that deals with what we do on a day-to-day routine and our duties and our obligations and things of those natures. So we got to make sure that we are we got to make sure that we are planting those seeds, because all of our actions and our viewpoints is going to be more geared towards seed planting and planting for the upcoming transitions and the upcoming phases that we're going to be experiencing in the sky. So keep that in mind as well when it comes to the sun being in Virgo, and it's going to be affecting everybody differently. It's going to be affecting everybody's zodiac sign differently, and we can run through some of them. We can go through Aries right now. I ain't gonna go through all of them, but we can go through some of them. Let's say, for instance, as you are Aries. Now we need to go through though. That's gonna be a long-winded. That's long-winded. So yeah, just understanding these energies and just understanding that these are going to be the types of energies that we're going to be experiencing as below. So understand how you are aligning to these energies, whether your sun sign, your moon sign, and your Mercury sign is in conjunction, opposing, squaring, or conjuncting these energies. Then that's going to be determining how you're going to have to get with the program when it comes to things that you need to be working on or things that you need to be worrying about. But by default, these Virgo energies is going to be putting us in a space where we're going to feel like we need to work on something, we need to perfect something, we need to construct something, we need to do something. So this is going to be making us feel like we all need to do something right now. And if we're not doing that, then we may develop these energies of worrying or stressing or overanalyzing about what we're trying to perfect, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to work on, what we're trying to structure and carve out for ourselves as a circumstance and situation. So keep that in mind as well when it comes to the sun being in Virgo. So with the sun being in Virgo, we just can't let these Virgo energies get the best of us, because if we let these energies get the best of us, then we may end up making a hasty decision and we wasn't really looking over the contracts and looking into the details of whatever we was trying to present or whatever we was trying to, create for ourselves as a pattern or a routine or a discipline and things of those natures. So just understanding that we need to kind of understand these energies and making sure that we're not getting lost or thrown off task when it comes to the things that we're trying to build into reality, and things that we're trying to manifest into reality, not letting other subsidiaries and distractions and delusions kind of throw us off course in a direction that we're trying to go, so we can be able to accumulate in the right perspective when it comes to whatever we're trying to manifest into the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, so we can see these seeds flourish and be prosperous, so that these things can be able to grow and become something that can help us sustain ourselves within these astral travels. So this is going to be us having to develop the right sufficient spaceship, the right sufficient mind that can be able to sustain these astral travels, so we won't end up getting lost and following other spirits that may have been going down the wrong trains of thoughts and lines of reasonings. Because right now we're really going to be seeing the results of, you know, what we have been creating for ourselves, what we have been planting seeds in, what we have been putting the energy work in, and all these things is going to be coming to fruition right now. So if we haven't been planting those seeds, or if we haven't been actually having anything to work on, like a purpose or a goal or anything like that, then we may not even see anything coming to fruition, and we may get the opposite of that actual energy. We may start to see things actually crumble and fall. So we got to make sure that we are staying strong and staying 10 toes down in whatever we're trying to build for ourselves, so that we can see these things coming to fruition, so we can have something to, you know, represent the spaces that we have been traveling through, or represent, you know, represent our spiritual travels, or just represent us in general, whether it's money, security, stability, safety, and shelter, or a roof over your head. So those are going to be the energies that these Virgo qualities is going to be making us kind of work on or worry about. So we got to make sure that we do have some form of equilibrium between, you know, our thoughts and our feelings and the spaces that we are traveling through, so we won't get so discouraged by these energies and start to run away from our actual purpose and our goals and what we need to be working on in our responsibilities, and actually take charge of those energies, because the sun is going to be shining the spotlight on whatever area of life you have, Virgo, to make you take charge, actually take charge on that area of life, so you can actually start to, you know, get things done in that area of life, start to organize, start to build, start to work on something, start to utilize, start to create some forms of disciplines and consistency of whatever area of life you have, Virgo. But just don't overdo it, because if you overdo it, then that's gonna be that mentality that you created when it comes to you becoming aware and building on that awareness via thoughts and feelings, bending in and condensing and becoming our blood flow and our adrenaline actually becoming too much of an accumulation of something, so that can develop into organ illnesses and things of those natures. So keep that in mind as well when it comes to you over worrying or being overbearing about things that you're trying to manifest, because you may not be seeing it manifest in a timely fashion. So you may feel like you got to worry or stress on it. So just be careful when going through these Virgo energies and making sure that we don't develop any organ illnesses, because those same organ illnesses can maybe the same things that prevent us from actually being able to, you know, take care of our responsibilities and stay on task, or have some form of discipline and be on our routines and things of those natures. So, you know, understanding these Virgo energies is also going to be activating our Mercury. So your personal Mercury is going to be getting affected as well. And also just understanding the as above Mercury and where Mercury is at right now, and how you can correspond your personal Mercury, and how the as above Mercury is going to be influencing the sun in Virgo, because you know that Mercury, well, Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So with Virgo being ruled by Mercury, this is going to be, you know, the way that we're going to be thinking and analyzing. So we're all going to be thinking and analyzing, and you know, once it gets home, once Mercury goes direct and go back into its home position, then we're going to be feeling a little bit more comfortable when it comes to the things that we're thinking and analyzing about. So right now, with it being a Leo, we just got to make sure that we're setting the stage for the right things to be expressed when it comes to our character and our characteristics and our charismatic gifts and talents and things of those natures. So once it goes direct, we won't have to be looking in the back seat when it comes to, you know, making sure that we're not sweeping things under the rug, making sure that we're not just, you know, spilling milk on the floor and not cleaning it up, or make sure that we don't have any skeletons in our closets or things of those natures. But just understanding that, you know, once it goes direct, this is going to be the energy going direct, so it's going to be pushing us forward in whatever we have planned, whatever we are planning, whatever we do have on a routine and a pattern and on a schedule and on task. And it's going to be, you know, conjunct in the sun, so we're going to be wanting to act on these thoughts and act on, you know, these ideas that we're deriving from this space. So we got to make sure that we are developing and putting ourselves in a good healthy space when it comes to us setting those disciplines, and not getting so lost into the distractions, not getting so lost into the delusions, not getting so lost into the narratives, but staying focused on whatever we got going on, whatever we're trying to build to sustain ourselves for these next season of transition. Because Virgo is going to be like the building block or the stepping stool for us to actually have something to stand on once we go into the fall portion and the depth portion, so that we won't be getting outweighed by these currents and these energies. So just understanding those energies and understanding the Mercury and how your Mercury is being affected, and where you may have to realign the way that you think and the way that you communicate with the as above Mercury, so that you won't be into those self-serving or narcissistic energies, because your ideas may not be as prosperous or flourishing at the moment. But just understanding that you have to align yourself with these energies, because every dog has their day. And it's not just like you can wake up one day, well, if the stars align for you, then you can wake up one day and be able to get with a program. But it's always a program that is going to be kind of forcing us to get with. So it's always like a current shift. The only thing that's constant is change. So the better that we're able to change, the better that we're able to get with a program, then that's the better that we're going to be able to stay above water, stay above current. So we'll be able to make the right decisions and not get washed up under the current, end up planting bad seeds. And then that's going to end up, us germinating those negative seeds, adding those negative thoughts and feelings to whatever seed we're trying to plant, and whatever seed we're trying to let germinate, so it can grow and blossom and become something that we can be able to pick from that tree and bite that fruit, whatever it is, creative, gift, talent. If we add too many negative thoughts and feelings to it, then that's us, creating bad fruit, rotten fruit. So we got to make sure that we're not creating bad, rotten fruit, so we'll be able to have good fruit, so that the fruit that we do bite, it gives us a sense of courage and inspiration, or it gives us a sense of purpose to it, not things that make us feel down, depressed about ourselves, things that make us feel insecure, things that make us, feel shame, or make us, put us in those lower octave energies of having to worry or regret, and those natures. So it's all about the fruit that you bear. Keep that in mind at the end of the day, because Virgo season is really going to be highlighting that as well. The fruit that you bear, the types of ideas and the types of mentalities that you are creating. What types of mentalities that you are creating? Are you creating healthy mentalities, or are you creating narcissistic, self-sabotaging mentalities? So understanding those energies, that's going to help you be able to derive and put yourself in the right spiritual space, so that you can start to derive the right thoughts and feelings. Even if you have to separate from people, places, and things that's kind of clouding up or dirtying up your esoteric pearly gates at the moment. So just keep that in mind as well when it comes to you trying to get your spirit back on track, because this Virgo energy is going to be pushing all of us towards that, trying to get our spirit back on track, trying to get ourselves back on track. Even if we have been slacking off a little bit, even if we haven't been seeing things accumulate, this energy is going to be kind of encouraging us to get back on track whenever we're trying to manifest and build for ourselves. So just keep that in mind as well, and don't get discouraged by these Virgo energies, and don't let the Mercury get the best of you at the moment, because the better that you're able to just understand Mercury and not let Mercury get the best of you, then you will be able to have control over Mercury, letting your thoughts get the best of you, letting your mind get the best of you, letting mind try to get the best of you, letting not feeling organized, not being organized get the best of you, letting not having things on routine or pattern get the best of you, because can't nobody uphold all these things at once. Ain't nobody's spirit trying to uphold all these things at once. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to be spiritually light. We're not trying to let these things bring us down into density that make us feel like our back against the wall and we got to walk on eggshells all the time. So just understand that it's always a good time to it's always a good thing to carve out a space for yourself where you're not even thinking about these things. You're not even worrying about these things. You're just giving it to God at the moment, but still make sure that you take that spiritual responsibility at the end of the day. But you're giving it to God at the moment and kind of creating a space where you can kind of release all these thoughts and feelings that's piling up on your spirit, bringing you down into density, because that's how we got here in the first place, for thinking too much, feeling too much, and it's kind of took us from our natural state of being, of just being at peace. So we gotta make sure that we're not letting our jobs and things that we're working on and our responsibilities and things of those natures to get the best of us and bring us down and make us moody, make us depressed, make us negative, make us nasty, make us come across like, dang, I can't communicate with this person because this person is always worrying or stressing or nitpicking about something. So we got to make sure that we don't let that wanting things to be perfect get the best of us, because ain't nothing perfect in this reality, and your imperfections is your perfection. So just understand that as well, and understand that it's impossible to carve something out to it so it can be completely perfect. But you may have to hear that, especially if you're Virgo. You may have to hear that ain't nothing ain't gonna be perfect. It don't matter how hard you look at it, no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you try to carve it out, it ain't gonna be perfect at the end of the day. So just understanding that and accepting that your imperfections is your perfections. That's what makes you perfect. That's gonna be able to help you have better access to what's actually going on, so that you won't end up putting all this extra strain on your mentality, your mental organ, and your physical organ that bends in, or your mental organ that bends in to create your physical organ. So you won't be, creating blood clots and bodily issues, organ illnesses, and things of those natures. And next thing you know, you can't even take care of your responsibility because you've been thinking too much. Now you got a big ass migraine in your head because you've been thinking too much. You know what I'm saying? Gotta let things go. Got to go with the flow, because it's mutable earth. Keep in mind that those mutable qualities are gonna be kind of making us have a little bit more sense of just going with the flow, not trying to be in control of everything. So we gotta make sure that we're not trying to be in control over everything and going with the flow, because this energy may be taking us through, like, some things we may have to let go, some things we may have to add on to. So just understanding the equilibrium between those two polar shifts, then you will know how you will be able to use as a vessel to whatever you're trying to create, whatever circumstance and scenario you're trying to create for yourself. Because keep in mind that these are just our tools at the end of the day. And not looking at these things like, okay, it's for us or against us. Just look at it like a tool. Look at Virgo like a tool. Look at the sun like a tool. Add those two things together. Virgo, mutable earth, then mutable and adaptable and changeable to our one of the other ways of thinking being practical. Sun, my actions and my viewpoints, the things that I see and how others see me. Adding those two things together. So this is what I'm going to be saying for myself. This is what people are going to be saying for me, and this is what I'm going to be saying for others. So how can I use these energies for some form of leverage? Let me start to work on things. Let me start to put things on a task. Let me start to calculate things. Let me start to worry about things if it's necessary. Let me start to make sure I'm setting things, putting things on a routine pattern, however it is. Let me make sure I start to exercise a little bit more. Let me make sure I get to chill a little bit more. Things of those natures. Just understanding those two polar shifts can kind of help you gain some form of equilibrium between your mind and your body, and then you'll have a sound mind and a sound body. But just understanding those energies and just understanding that's how Virgo is going to be affecting us, and it's really going to be like affecting all of us and kind of encouraging all of us to start to be a little bit more productive and get out of our feelings, because we may have been in our feelings too much, and our feelings ain't gonna make us no money. Our feelings ain't gonna help us gain no security. Our feelings ain't gonna help us gain no stability. So we gotta make sure that we get out of our feelings and start to actually put things to work, even if we don't like it. Just put it to work. It's gonna pay off at the end of the day. What's the cliche term that you're saying? Hard work pays off. So we just gotta make sure that we put it to work and try not to have an extra thought about it, or think too hard about it, or think too much about it, about the actual work we're putting in, even if we're not getting the validation or the attention that we think we deserve. As long as we wake up every day and actually put in that work and have that encouragement to actually, do the things that's necessary in order for us to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? So, just being in that space for a long period of time, you're going to eventually develop the right mentality, the right spaceship, so that small problems start to look like nothing. So things that you was making a big problem in your head start to look like nothing. And that's you kind of being closer to all possibilities, or God. Because, we create all possibilities. It's not like a deity out there that's going to be coming and helping us, or, trying to create things for us. We get assistance from God and goddesses in the universe, but just keep in mind that we do create all possibilities. So, just understanding those energies, they can kind of help us put ourselves in a better perspective on how to actually view the world and view reality and view what's actually going on in the world and things in those constructs. So we won't get so out overwhelmed by these things, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think those are the energies that we're going to be experiencing with the sun in Virgo. Have you been planting, and have you been planning? And if you haven't, start to. So these are going to be the energies that we're going to have to kind of start to, gain a little bit more comfortability with planting and planning, because it's all going to be about planting and planning. But yeah, it's been with like 360. If I like you enjoyed the video, peace.